General Bipin Rawat, welcome to Times Now. Almost your first day at work, and you are speaking with Times Now. We are very happy. Sir, you're going to Kashmir tomorrow. And the important thing here is, Uri has happened, Pathankot has happened, Nagrota has happened. First of all, what were the deficiencies that led to these things? And secondly, you have spoken very strongly about retribution, that if this happens, we will fire back, we will hit back.
Firstly, thank you for what you said. As far as Pathankot, Uri or Nagrota are concerned, I wouldn't like to refer to their deficiencies. All that I would like to say is that in terrorism, the dynamics are always changing. Terrorists will always find newer and newer means of striking at the adversary's targets. This time they chose Pathankot, Uri and Nagrota, which were Air Force and military bases, because they possibly had some information about these places. They found some weaknesses, and that is how they attacked. Now, as far as the weaknesses are concerned, I wouldn't really like to say that these are weaknesses in the real sense. Anybody who comes as a fidayeen, is willing to lay down his life, can always enter a base. What the security forces have to be aware of and prepared for is to neutralize the people who enter at the earliest opportunity before they can do much damage to us. And therefore, to that extent, we have to ginger up our drills for quicker reaction and be prepared for such assaults in the future. But also, I would like to assure you that we have now set the ball rolling to make sure that much damage is not done and we eliminate these people. But next, in the same light, I would like to highlight that it is not necessary that future attacks will be of a similar kind and maybe at bases. As I have said, terrorists are changing their modus operandi. We have to also think ahead and think faster than what the terrorists are thinking. So if we just think that only the bases are going to be attacked and only strengthen our bases, that may not be the best answer. I am therefore now visiting the formations in Jammu and Kashmir to discuss with them the future courses of action, identify other targets which the terrorists could select in the future, and develop a modus operandi for dealing with such attacks, so that we thwart all such attacks that the terrorists are going to undertake against us.
You were very tough when you were taking over, and you said that if there are attacks, we will reply and we will fire back, we will hit back.
Yes, you see, we are looking at peace and tranquility along our borders. We want peace with our adversaries. Why? Because it is not because the security forces are afraid of any kind of violence, but whenever there is violence on the borders, it is the civilian population on both sides which get affected. And I think it is our duty to protect the lives and property of the civilians who are residing in the border areas or even in the depth areas. So therefore, the first and foremost task of the security forces is to remain prepared in such a manner to prevent the terrorists from taking any action and denying them any kind of success against either the military establishment or against the civilians.
These terrorists who are coming across again and again and again, how closely are they working with the Pakistani military and the Pakistani intelligence agencies?
Well, I think the fact that they are coming from across the border, where both sides are deployed, we almost have in places eye-to-eye contact. The fact that they are able to infiltrate from that side, it is likely that they have the support of the adversary who's there, including some agencies which are providing them such high quality weapons. They are coming with the wherewithal which gives them the ability to survive in our territory for a couple of days. They carry money which is in Indian currency, some of it fake, some of them also carry drugs with them. So this is something which is not easily available to a terrorist unless he has got some support from the adversary.
And what would you say has been the result of the surgical strike? You went through with it, you were vice chief, so you helped to plan it. How effective has it been?
Well, surgical strikes were conducted by the command in the area of their responsibility. It was well thought through. The purpose of the surgical strike was to strike at the terror bases, because we had definitive information that some of these terrorists could come in, infiltrate from across the borders and cause more damage to us. They could cause damage. For operations similar to Uri could have taken place. They could have targeted the civilian population. So therefore we had to strike before we gave them the opportunity to strike at us again. And so surgical strikes to an extent have had the effect. We have been able to destroy some of their bases. And all that I would say that a message has been communicated to the other side that in case these attacks come in from the other side, we will take such kind of action.
So you're saying that it's been a deterrent. It's been a deterrent, is what you're saying.
Yes, it has been a deterrent.
Your Northern Army commander recently said 2 times now that if necessary, there is the wherewithal for a second surgical strike in a different manner. Would you agree with that?
Well, as I've said earlier, that in case the peace and tranquility along the borders is disrupted, we will apply force. We will make sure that we have to operate against these people who are carrying out disruptions and volatile activity in our territory, and that will happen.
You've just taken over as chief, and there's been a bit of a controversy. You have superseded 2 people who are actually friends of yours. Now, how is it going to work out? Do you feel that there'd be a little bit of a problem working with them, even though they have said very clearly that they will continue to serve the army?
Yes, with all humility, I have accepted the role and responsibilities as the Chief of the Army Staff. I would also like to state that I am fully aware of the responsibilities that have been entrusted to me by the government. At the same time, I also appreciate that I have a responsibility toward my rank and file. So I will balance the 2 requirements in equal measure. As far as the supersession of the senior officers is concerned, General Bakshi and General Harris, well, we've broken bread together, we've rubbed shoulders in the past, and I think in the army we are taught not to work for individuals. We are all working for the organization. So the support that they are providing to me, and which they have said that they will continue to provide, is towards the betterment of our organization, that is the Indian Army, to make sure that we grow stronger and stronger day after day. That's the kind of support I expect from you.
You've spoken with them after taking over. What kind of conversation would you have had? Can you give us just a little flavor of that?
The conversation was very pleasant. It was in just the same manner as we had conversed earlier on earlier occasions. I did not see any difference in the tone or tenor, and I think they were most polite. I respect these officers. They are revered officers of the Indian Army, and all that I would say is that there is a lot of bonhomie.
Yeah, they are old friends of yours. About that there is no doubt. But the appointment itself, the announcement, did it come as a surprise? It must have been a surprise.
Yes, it did come as a surprise. And why I say so is because it is difficult to fathom rumors. Because unless the thing is actually announced, things can go anyway. So it did come as a surprise to me on the day it was announced.
You've spoken about Pakistan. Just as far as China is concerned, you know that China is regularly helping Pakistan in many ways. And there has also been these cases at Depsang and Chumar. It is possible that you, in these 3 years, may have to deal with them. How are you looking at China over these next 3 years?
Well, the country decides on its security mechanism based on its own strategies. China has its own strategic calculus based on which it is working. It has decided to support Pakistan in economic measures, in development of the military. We have to look at our own strategies and how we want to tackle this, and I think we are prepared for that.
What is your message to the people of India now?
Firstly, through the medium of your channel, I would like to convey to the people of India that this is an army of the people. All the people who join the army come from the same stock which we are all made of. We join the army, we superannuate, and we finally merge back with the population. So I would like to reassure them to think this army as theirs and support the army in whatever way they can, so that we can carry on with our tasks. Our boys who are deployed, our men who are deployed on the borders are facing very difficult and challenging circumstances, yet they are steadfast in carrying out their duties. And I wish to assure the people that you can rest in peace in the hinterland, wherever you are in your homes, because the army is there to defend your borders.